Hi, my name is Adelaide Kane. I was really excited to join Grey's. I mean, to be a part of like such a historic show that's made such an impact on like pop culture and culture internationally was extremely exciting. But I was also very, very nervous. You know, Grey's has been such a part of a lot of people's lives. Like they grew up with the show, and I really wanted to do a good job and, you know, make sure that I brought something fun to the show, and I hope the fans like what I've done so far and continue to like the work I do. So yeah. I don't know much about what we're going to do with that relationship between Jules and Mika. I really love how in season 20, like we really got to build that friendship and that connection. I do think that finale episode where it's like a will they, won't they kind of moment felt quite like natural, since the chemistry's been building all season, more platonically than romantically, but I'm excited to see what they do next season, whether they, you know, form like a really strong, like unshakable friendship, like you're my person type friendship, or whether it potentially becomes something more romantic. I don't know what they're gonna do with it yet, but I'm excited to see. Every project is challenging for different reasons. So The Purge was challenging because I had to cry every day for a month straight on that set. Rain was challenging because the costumes, like learning to work in the costumes and the corsets and the heels, riding horses, working in Toronto in the countryside in the middle of winter. Once was super fun, but it was the first time that I had worked with so much green screen. Some of our sets were green screen, and like having to imagine that you were in the place was a new experience and quite challenging. I really loved Teen Wolf, but the most challenging thing about Teen Wolf was wearing the prosthetics and the contacts for like hours and hours at a time. So it was quite physically challenging. I really love being on Grey's because like the costumes are super comfortable and everybody's really easy and fun to work with. But a challenging part of being on Grey's is they taught us how to, you know, suture and how to use like medical tools when we're doing the surgeries, which is really difficult. It's very, very difficult when you know you have like a time limit and you're trying to like tie things off inside this fake body cavity. So that's very challenging, but also very fun. So, yeah. Jules has a very difficult family life. I wouldn't necessarily, well, I don't know if I would say her family is drug addicts, but they sold weed, and she grew up in a very like unsafe, unstable environment. I think that her need for like control and order, and also to do something like medicine, which is very well respected. I think she grew up not feeling like her parents were worthy of respect because they were so sort of like careless in the way they lived their lives. So I think that that's a big driving force of hers, is to prove that she isn't like her parents, that she's, you know, she's smart and she's responsible and respectable. And I think that that very much drives her. I've watched the first 6 seasons of Grey's. When it came out, I was too young to watch the show. My mum wouldn't let me. So it took me until later in life to watch Grey's. And it's an incredible show. Those first like 3 seasons in particular, it's so interesting watching it back and being like, oh, that's where like "You're My Person" came from. That's like where "Pick Me, Choose Me, Love Me," like so many things that have become like really enmeshed in pop culture have come from Grey's, which is super cool. And you know, you forget until you go back and you like rewatch episodes and you're like, oh right, Right. So interesting. I definitely think that little hookup was like a nod to that like fling back in season 1. But just that, because I don't think that those two characters will have a relationship. But it was kind of cool that like it's a nod to the like original like season, the original cast, the original storylines. I don't think me and the new cast like we'll never be able to like recreate the magic that came in like the first couple of seasons of Grey's, but it is really cool that they've written in some like little nods to those initial seasons, because I think it is really important to like respect the roots of the show as we continue to film, and we're going into our 21st season, which is so crazy.